Dear Comrades takes place in 1962 USSR and focuses on Lyuda, a loyal party executive who detests any anti-Soviet sentiment. During a strike at the local electromotive factory, Lyuda witnesses a number of workers gunned down under orders from the government that seeks to cover up mass labor strikes in USSR. She realizes her daughter went missing after the strike. She goes searching for her, realizing that her life won't be ever the same. Directed by Andrei Konchalovsky, who also directed 80s action movies Tango and Cash and Runaway Train, this is a much different change of pace from films like those. It has had a pretty quiet release at the beginning of the year, and it only popped up on my radar when I found out it was on the shortlist for Best International Feature at the Oscars. And then I also found out it's distributed by one of my favorite independent film companies, Neon, so I knew I had to check it out once I heard that. It reminded me a lot in some ways of the film Cold War from 2018, a film that I really enjoyed, which dealt with some of the same themes of tension between people and the government. This takes a look at a real-life historical event where unarmed protesters were killed by Soviet army officials when they were protesting nationwide increases in dairy and meat prices. While that event is played out here, it's not at the forefront of the entire movie. This isn't some major epic event film played out over the course of 2 hours. It's only one small part, though I will say that when we do see it played out, it is absolutely horrifying to watch and one of the most intense scenes in the entire film. Konchalovsky instead looks to give a human face to this massacre, hence the focus on Lyuda, who's played by his wife, Julia Vysotsskaya, and the film presents Lyuda's moral conundrum as she's determined to find her daughter dead or alive, but she also has a reputation, due to her party loyalty, of cracking down on individuals in ways that led to the strike in the first place, which also makes her culpable in a way. Vysotsskaya does a solid job as Lyuda, giving a mostly quiet, reserved sort of performance that's meant to be very self-reflective and soul-searching in nature, as she has to take a cold, hard look at this government that she saw herself as so loyal to for all her life, and essentially have to choose between them and her family, and I thought she carried much of this film. Meanwhile, Konchalovsky's direction is pretty spot on, as was the cinematography. There were some beautiful, yet heartbreaking shots of the city, especially when we see everything in shambles in the wake of the massacre. I'd say though that the overall mood of the film is very quiet and reserved, similar to Lyuda herself. It's presented with essentially little to no musical score, and isn't filled with any of these huge emotional peaks. In fact, at times, I'd call it emotionally distant at various points, especially whenever we focused on some of these other heartless government officials. It's a very bleak film overall, and it felt very cold at times, so I wasn't always emotionally invested. It's not a film that I'd say does anything wrong per se, though it's also not a film I'd see myself revisiting anytime soon, to be quite honest. But if you like more reserved films, or if you have an interest in historical events such as this, you might wind up liking it, as it has solid performances, gives us a good look at what this time period was like, and exceeds on a technical level. Dear Comrades gets a 6 out of 10. So, let me know, did you see Dear Comrades, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Do you have a favorite historical drama? Did you know anything about this story going into it? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.